is Father Sarah. He was the founder of San Luis Obispo mission, the Tolosa mission. He had big dreams, he was a pretty small guy. He was born in 1713 and he died at 1784. And he's the founder of the California mission. This fountain reminds us about why Father Sarah picked this location, because it had good weather, lots of food, water, plenty of bears, and friendly Chumash neighbors. Today at the mission there are 5 bells that currently ring. They're not on automatic ringers. Actually, real people ring them up in that tower. They are rung every mass, funeral, weddings, quinceañera, and even Hanukkah. Today, San Luis Obispo is still a working mission. As you can see, some people are getting their first communion today. Always something going on. It's Mission San Luis Obispo. On the steps above, it belongs to the mission. On the steps below, it belongs to the city. These are the pillars. They represent the 12 apostles, but one was left out, which was Judas, because he betrayed Jesus. As you walk into the mission, there are pews on both sides. There is also flowers that go along the walls, and there are pillars and candle lights. There is also a holy table where the priest performs mass. So I'm still here in the church, and if you notice, there are many paintings, and the paintings are stations of the cross. And there are a lot of paintings in the mission because the natives and the whites, the Spanish, had a language barrier, and their languages were the total opposite. So to communicate, they would use pictures, and they would paint paintings. And I want to show you one in particular. I want to show you this because it was trying to explain to the natives the Holy Spirit and the heavens and the hells, and the ship was to represent that the boat looks like it was floating on water, and they used to call it the floating bird.
And Jesus?
And Jesus is holding by his mother Mary, and there are saints with halos on top of them.
And what is the thing on the left?
And that represents death. So I'm in the church now, and if you notice how beautiful it is, all the paintings are actually faux, which means fake. And behind Jesus it looks like marble, but they actually took a turkey feather and smoothed it and went like that, and now it looks like marble. And they also used paintings that were fake, and it looks like gold over here, but it is actually fake. And
why did they have to do that?
Because they didn't have enough money to spend. As you walk into the mission, you see a gravestone on the wall. It says Adam and Eliza, daughter of Captain William G. She died at the age of 5, unfortunately, and her parents paid for her to be buried in the mission walls. So there are 5 bodies in this mission, and there are 3 priests, and they are buried here. The first one was Father Sarah sent to finish the mission. The second 2 died here. Then I showed you one over there, and that was a girl named Adelise, and there was another child, and they believe it was a servant's child, and it was buried in the mission walls. As I walk out of the mission, I see a beautiful garden, also a beautiful well with flowers and roses, and grape arbors. These are ceramic tiles, as you can see, but originally there was a thatched roof. Thatched roof is a hay roof, which the natives knew how to do very good because they were very good weavers. But the problem with thatched roof is that they catch fire fast. So then they invented ceramic tiles, which were which were fireproof and kept out rain and other sort of weather. And this is the ordinal, which the Native Americans or the Chumash would use, and they would put bread dough and put it in there, and it would heat. It would originally be made out of adobe, but this is made out of concrete. Hi, I'm here in the courtyard in the patio too. As you can see, this is a very thick branch because it's a cutting of the mother vine, which is the oldest vine, grapevine from the first mission. And this grapevine is connected to all these other grapes. And this is the arbor from the grape, and San Luis Obispo is famous for its wine. What's your name?
My name is Michael Lafreniere, and I'm a third-generation bell ringer here.
Okay.
So I learned how to ring the bells from my mom and grandma. They were both bell ringers at the mission.
What's your favorite bell?
My favorite bell is the Gloria bell. These two bells on the left are 200 years old now, and I like the style and the sound of those bells. I ring the bells just about every Saturday for a wedding or a birthday, a quinceañera. My favorite time to ring the bells is at midnight on New Year's. My favorite part is knowing that I'm continuing this history of bell ringing.
Okay, that's amazing.
So Olivia, if you'd like, you can go ahead and ring the sorrowful bell.
Okay, how do you do it?
So what you want to do is the clapper that's hanging inside the bell, you want to pull the rope so the clapper bounces off the bell. Because if you pull it too hard, it'll make a clanking sound and won't ring. So you want to pull it and kind of release it so it bounces and has a nice, pretty sound.
Okay, I'll try. Thank you, Michael, for showing me how to ring the bell, and I appreciate how you let me do this, and that I'm Olivia Dawson from Visitation School.
Well, meet you, Olivia.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See, now that you've seen the old bells, do you want to see the new bells up in the tower?
Sure.
So we lock the bell tower off so we don't get people going up into the tower ringing the bells.
Wow. So this is the plaza.
This is the bell Diego. This is the bell Antonio. This is the bell Gabriel, and this is the bell Luis. 5 bells for the fifth mission.
Right here is our portrait of Gregorio Silverio, and he was a bell ringer who learned how to ring the bells back in 1891. He learned from an old Native American who knew all the patterns from the mission days. And he made some recordings, and it's because of this guy that we've continued on the tradition of bell ringing and the traditional mission era patterns. All right, so this is our choir loft. This is the pipe organ.
Great. That was really good.
Well, we're going to get out of here a very cool way, but we're going to head through the attic and go down.
This is cool. Is this adobe?
Yes, and we're going to see a better spot where you can see the adobe. So back in the 1930s, some scientists wanted to do an experiment. They figured that these bricks, they might have mission era seeds hidden in the bricks, because the bricks are made out of dirt, straw, and manure. And so there's probably going to be some seeds mixed in there, here and there. So, and they were able to find seeds. And they had no idea if the seeds would be able to germinate and grow into plants. So they took all the seeds and they were able to germinate and grow mission era plants. Plants that were about 200 years old.
Wow, that's amazing. There's some straw in here. It looks like dirt. What is that over there?
This is a modern model of the mission. So it doesn't show what the mission looked like during the mission days, it shows what the mission looks like today.
Right here.
So that's the barbecue pit area. So the barbecue pit's over here, but in the mission days, the barbecue pit would have been right over here. And this building would have been the kitchen.
What is this?
That is a giant cauldron used to melt down like cow fat to make soaps, tallow. This, which says, please do not touch. This is a piece of the old original altar. This piece is hanging the wrong way. If it were hanging correctly, it would have been the centerpiece of the altar. And this symbol here is for Jesus' mom, Mary. A for Ave, and an M, Maria, and an R for Regina. Right, Olivia, let's go through the museum. First room that we're going into is the Native American room. It's to show what this area would have looked like before the mission era. And it shows some of the Native American artifacts that were here. And along the walls, you see what life would have been like for the natives before the mission era. If you look over here, there is a painting of life as the natives would have been living. It's called Shelter at Sunset Cove. This is probably the largest collection of Chumash artifacts in one place. One of the questions I had from you a little bit ago was, where is the cat door? Look at the bottom of this door. You'll see that hole cut out?
Yes.
That's where the cat was allowed to go in and out so they could take care of the rat problem. So this room is the Victorian room. Behind that mannequin is a cupboard, and I found a letter from President FDR. A letter that he wrote to the mission when they were restoring it. And it's signed by him. They forgot that it was back there. Essentially what the letter said was that President FDR thought it was a good idea that the mission was spending the time and money to restore the building. Olivia, I want you to take a look at this photo. I like to tell people that it is a photo of a dog. If you look on the right-hand side, you will see that there is a dog in the shadow.
Oh, I see the dog.
Back then, photography was very difficult. See back there in the center? That's called a tabernacle, which translates to tent. And so that box was the original tabernacle.
Wow.
And it was in a fire. And so someone ran into the church to save that so it wouldn't get wrecked in the fire. Wow. So hanging on that back wall really goes back to the mission days. It's a very old piece. And that's kind of what they would have done. They didn't have money to have a really fancy altar, so they'd get these decorative embroidered silk linens and put them up as the background. And as they got more money, they would add to the church. And that's why it was never just like one finished thing. They'd keep changing it and remodeling it as they got money.
So it comes to an end to our mission, and I hope you had a great time learning about the San Luis Obispo de Tolosa mission. And I have a special shout out to Mike, our friend, which gave us an amazing tour behind the scenes. We got to see up in the attic, we got to see the bell, we got to ring the bells. And thank you to our docent that gave us so much information. His name was Jim. And one more shout out to the most important person in the world who drove me down here, and she's amazing, which is my mom. So thanks, Mom. Love you. Thanks. Hope you learned a lot about San Luis Obispo Mission de Tolosa, and I hope you come here one day. So Michael is going to be doing a song, and you can go on the San Luis Obispo website and go to bell ringers, and you'll see all you need to know about bell ringing, and Michael is in the video. So today in the mission, as I walk into the mission, all the paintings are actually fake.
Faux.
Faux.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Sorry.